Hi guys, and welcome to my Fyrakk guide. So on this one, what we're going to do is I'm going to go through a raid plan of the phases, and I'm going to stop and I'm going to go through the abilities of the phase. Okay, so it'll be a little bit different to the others, but I think this is the best way to get the information across to you. Okay guys, so I'm just going to go through phase 1 on my raid plan. I'll make sure that this is linked in the comments, so no problems there. We won't go through every ability, we're just going to go through positioning with this. So start off, the boss will be around here. You put him over here, you face him out for the tank frontal. You'll have fire all around the bottom of the platform. And then you'll get meteors that come in. When the meteors come in, you put them on top or next to the other fire that's already in existence, okay? You try and make sure that your players cross over each other's fire, so there's no gaps. No gaps is very important. Next, he casts Dream Rend. It's a big AoE that you do less damage. You take less damage the further away you get. So we've got a portal set up, but also speed boost is fine. You just peg it over the other side. Okay. Rinse and repeat on this side. Face it outside. Make sure your players are putting the circles on top of the old flames and interacting with each other's flames, so sort of crossing over. And then you move into the intermission after you have this last Dream Rend. So the last Dream Rend happens, you run away again, you go slightly to the right, middle if you've got this really far over, and you just finish off Fyrakk to get to 70% health essentially. Okay, and then he'll fly up in the air and then he'll slam down, so you want to make sure no one is around this bottom part. You're either slightly to the right or you're on the white circle, because he drops down around here and it will just push you this way. You don't want to get pushed this way and this way. And then the intermission will start, and that's the end of phase 1. Okay, so the first ability I'll show you is the tank mechanic. It's a frontal. It marks you every time he auto attacks you or the other tank, you take damage. Just don't let it go through anyone, and it's pretty self-explanatory. The next ability we have is Meteors. You need to make sure that you're getting them to where the marks are in this picture, and they're crossing over as well. Basically, you want to form a nice line. You don't want fire spawning in between them, so you move out straight away. You can see it from a different perspective here. These three players get it. They run over, we're on the opposite side. They form a nice line, as you can see, and then they move back. Now we've got the Dream Rend. It's a fall-off mechanic, so we run over the other side, we use the gateway. You can see it there, so just make sure you get all the raid over to the other side, and then nice and stacked behind the boss. What we do here is use a Spirit Link. It's really, really good for this mechanic, especially if people are high stacks on the debuff at the moment. And then you'll see it from another perspective, so you see it a bit more in your face. There it is, huge area. Get out, and we stack in the barrier this time. Next we have the healing Dispell. You can see it in all these places here. He's got it on his frames. Basically, healers need to dispel on cooldown and really aggressively dispel to get this off. It does a hell of a lot of damage when it gets up above 10 stacks. You can see here as well that he has a counter to see how many stacks that person is on, so we can prioritize who to dispel. This will happen through all phases, so really need to keep dispelling aggressively. Next ability is Blaze. This also happens through all phases. You can see it here, it's a line. You want to stay still as much as you can so people can move from you. The more you move, the harder it is for people. So just pick a spot, stay there. Don't be crossed over with anybody else, let it go off. As I said, this goes through the entire fight. So during the intermission, at the start of it, you'll be just finishing phase 1 and you'll have been knocked everywhere. And what you want to do is you want to have assigned places for people to stand. So once you finish the knockback, you run to your places in a nice semicircle fashion. All of the orbs that come in this phase will spawn from fire patches. Remember, I'll be going through the mechanics after this, so just go with the positioning for this. So you semicircle around, okay, and you are prepared to catch orbs that come in from these fire circles. And then we'll go to phase 2. Okay, so I thought it would just be easier to follow my point of view here. So you can see the boss comes down. At the start, we all get knocked up. We're all spread out. We have people over that side already, so we can set up our semicircle. For this next section, we have the Orb Soaks. So you can see we're going to have some orbs come in. So they spawn from the flame patches. Here they come. You can see what they look like. That's what you need to absorb. It's worth mentioning here, you don't really need to run after them like I'm doing. If you're in a good semicircle, you can just let it hit your back and break the shield. So you can see there's a shield on here that you need to DPS down in time. And that's important. What I'm doing here, because I'm a tank, I don't do much damage anyway. I'm just bodyguarding my team and just taking as much as I possibly can. Okay, so the boss will spawn down here. and you just want to be stood sort of by the heart, and he'll leap to the tank that has aggro on him. So position around this middle bit, sort of top third, but the bottom of the top third. And then what starts to happen is you'll get the boss cast 2 meteors on your tanks. You just make sure that these two split up a little bit. They can sort of overlap, but don't be in each other's circles. And then 2 colossuses will spawn. You mark one with skull and you start slapping it. Okay. During this period of time, there will be healing ads walking that your healers will want to heal. You can use a paladin with the AoE beacon. It's really, really strong. So really, really good to get that set up. Also, evokers are quite good at it. But what we want to be doing is nuking the Colossus skull, standing next to this white line, but not on it. So you do not stand in the middle, just waiting for the next mechanic to happen. Obviously, Fyrakk will have jumped away here. So you're just with the Colossus, but just going back to here, still make sure when Fyrakk is down that you're facing him away from the raid, because he will still do a frontal. Okay. So you ignore this white line. And then what happens is Fyrakk will go through the middle and he'll spawn a load of bad ads. Okay. What you want to do is pull the Colossus into the middle. Look where the healer ads are spawning. And what we did is if the healer ads were spawning in the middle, then we just knocked everything in from the sides, knock, stack it all up, just single target interrupt. And then when the healing ads made it more into the middle, we would use our AoE stuns. We would make sure no casts go off and we just let the healing ads walk through. It made it far quicker for killing this. Sometimes we had stragglers out to the sides. That's not a problem. You just make sure you go and you kill them. After this, and the Colossus would probably one Colossus would be dead by now. You'd only have one up. But yeah, so when the healing ads are walking through, that's when you start AoE stunning. There's another strat where you could just move over here away from the ads and pull everything over here. Instead of, risking the ads being turned, but we just decided to go with this and made sure that we would interrupt the ads. Okay, this is just rinse and repeat. You finish off any ads that you've got left up, and then you do this one more time. Ads will spawn from probably a different location, the left or the right. You just need to be aware. And that's the end of phase 2. So at the start of phase 2, you can see he's jumping down. You just want to get away from it. You don't want to be in it. You will just get one shot and move towards the star we've got on the map there. And he'll leap over to his target. So we then have the ads that you need to heal. I've just highlighted one there. Not the easiest to see, but that's what healers need to spam up, basically. They will take damage from anything on the floor. Okay, but as soon as they get the shield, they don't take damage anymore. But without the shield, you don't want to hit them with the Colossus. You don't want to hit them with Blaze. You don't want to hit them with anything, essentially. We can just see our healer targeting them here, getting them the shield, and making them heal the tree as much as possible. Okay, so in this phase, the tanks spawn meteors. You want to go down the bottom and spread out, and you don't want to hit any ads with them. I'm stood on top of some ads, but they've got the shield, so it's fine. You put a skull marker on one of them, and you nuke that ad down as quick as you possibly can. Okay, because there's a bit of leeway here where you can do what you want. See this grey line to the left of us? So basically, this is where the ads are going to spawn, and no one can stand in it. If you stand in it, Fyrakk will just kill you. You'll just get one shot. Okay, so we can see all the ads have spawned along this line, and we want to try and deal with these all at the same time if possible. So you can see here we are interrupting them and stacking them up, and getting as many stacked on top as possible so we can nuke them down. And you can see the healers are walking in behind. When the healers walk through, we want to have these all hard stunned so they do not turn the healers into bad mobs. Okay, there you go. The healers walk through, they get their shield, and we've killed them all. Success. And I finish off the last remaining mobs, basically. So looking at this perspective, I will take the Colossus and stand in the middle, and we'll see people knocking them in from the side, getting them all together, just using interrupts and knocks. And then as soon as these healer ads get to us, we can start hard CCing and not letting any of them cast. Fyrakk's coming back down now, so we just want to finish up any of the remaining ads, get back towards star, move the boss out for the frontal, and go to P3. So at the end of phase 2, you'll have a couple of ads left up, just make sure you finish them off, and then everybody pumps Fyrakk as much as he can. Just nuke, 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 nuke. Phase 3 starts, he jumps up in the air again, turns into an incarnate, will knock you all up again. Okay, so just be ready for that. Don't be near the edges. You don't want to get knocked off. You need to pick 4 players. Okay, 4 players to pick up seeds. Make them your 4 best players at mechanics. And make sure they are not going to get hit by anything. Okay. So, he has a few mechanics in this phase. He has a breath, you just dodge it. The way that we handled this is we put our 4 seed bearers in the middle. And everybody else on the right and the left. So, dodge breath, nice and easy. If you get any mechanic while you're carrying a seed, so if you get a meteor put on you, if you have a blaze on you, whatever it is, you have to drop your seed, move away from the seed, do the mechanic, then come back up and pick your seed up. If any mechanics hit players with seeds or hit seeds themselves, they turn into a blazing seed and you all die. It's just a wipe. That's why we separate our seed players from our other players, and they can drop seeds here nice and safely. Okay, during the Apocalypse Roar, which is the big mechanic, one person, you have to allocate that one person, their seed will change, they can press the bloom button, and it basically absorbs the shield, absorbs the damage from the Apocalypse Roar. Okay, so you all stack up in the middle, one person presses their seed, you get pushed back through it, you survive. Rinse and repeat. Okay, one good thing to mention is anyone with a meteor, you have to go to Narnia. You don't go here and think that's far enough out. You don't go here and think that's far enough out. You get as far out as possible. Otherwise, you're just trolling the raid. And the blazes are happening the whole time. You just need to make sure that you're not aiming the blazes at seeds. Okay, but standing still with the blazes is generally the best thing to do the entire group. And then basically you rinse and repeat that up to 4 times and you kill the boss. It won't be 4 times, probably, but you can do it 4 times. So at the start of this phase, we see you all get knocked up again. So you just want to get to your position that you've been assigned for picking up seeds and that kind of stuff. And spread around the room. Here we can see the seeds spawning, so that's what they look like. You have your assigned players pick up the seeds, okay, and then get to their assigned position to make sure they're going to be safe. They cannot get hit by anything. So you can see the breath comes in, moves to the side. You get hit by that, your seed turns into a bad seed. So you need to make sure you're not. You can see these players here that get the meteors will be moving right out to the side. So off they go. Run, 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 run. And I'll freeze frame it again. There you go, right to the side. Okay, and when their ability goes off, boom, there's the tornadoes, right to the side. We do not want these in the raid. So now comes the use of the seed. You have an extra action button. You'll have an assigned player per 1. You can see there's the extra action button. It will turn to a bloom. You press it, and everybody gets in this area while Apocalypse Roar is happening. You get a big shield, you survive the roar. And last but not least, the tank mechanic. It is an infinitely stackable buff. It just does more and more damage. I think that you just let your tank take it until they die, and then let the other tank take it, and hope you have a battle res. But there's no point in swapping. So P3 basically is just all about keeping the seeds alive. They need to drop their seed if they get a mechanic, and they can pick them back up afterwards, and no one can hit a seed with an ability. Tornadoes, you have to get far out. Enjoy your kill, guys. And once again, special thanks to the guildies for providing me the VODs. And on to Mythic next, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.